Alex Pereira versus the current top 5 UFC Light Heavyweights and the top 5 Heavyweights. This was going to be Alex Pereira versus the top 15 ranked UFC Heavyweights. And I realised when it comes to guys like Taito Ivasa or some just Sergei Spivak, I realised what is there to really talk about there? You know what I'm trying to say? So maybe this will be a bit more interesting if I do it this way. If you like what you see, please do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll introduce you to the categories. So destroys Alex. That means his opponent would destroy Alex. It would not be competitive. He more or less beats Alex 10 times out of 10. Beats Alex means they beat Alex. It would be pretty close, pretty competitive, but I don't really see Alex getting the win. High chance means it's near enough 50-50, but I would slightly lean to Alex Pereira. That is what high chance means. 50-50, near enough, but I would slightly lean to Alex Pereira. Can compete means they can give Alex some trouble, but ultimately Alex would still get the job done. And pray for that man means, you guessed it, pray for that man. They have no chance. Dear God, get out my face. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Carlos Olberg. Carlos Olberg's an interesting one. He's the matchup some people have started mentioning to me over on TikTok. Go follow. Not really interested in it, in my opinion, because I think he can compete. Olberg's tall, Olberg's long, Olberg's fast, Olberg's athletic. But what is Carlos Olberg? A kickboxer with minimal grappling that will try and strike with Alex Pereira and get knocked the fuck out. And that's the reality. That is the welcome to the real world sort of thing that I'm trying to get across to you lot. Carlos Olberg does not beat Alex Pereira, would not beat Alex Pereira. It's just not happening. Is it pray for that man? No, because some of you lot will be like, but if you're so sure Carlos Olberg loses to Alex Pereira, why is he not in prayer for that man? Because I do believe Olberg would land on Pereira. I do believe Pereira would have to be a bit careful with Carlos Olberg, but his lead leg's getting chewed up. He fights at too much of a slow pace. Like, he stands in front of you, kind of like Alex, posturing with his lead hand, framing, using bouncy motion, just distant striking. It's not happening with Alex. He keeps his chin in the air too. Alex is just going to left hook him at some point. He's going to catch him. He's going to. But up until that point, yes, Olberg might give Alex some trouble. Some. Minimal. All right, people. Jailton Almeida. I think he'd beat Alex, wouldn't he? The only thing I have to say here is, some of you lot might not understand what I mean by this, but does Jailton Almeida have the aura to beat Alex Pereira? And you might be like, Ben, you can't just use aura as a talking point, as an analytical point, to say that Alex Pereira will beat somebody. Honestly, I think aura does matter. Like, does Jailton Almeida have the grappling to take Alex Pereira down, submit him, or do like a standing choke? Like, just climb on Alex Pereira's back, control him from there, really frustrate Alex Pereira. Yes, it's not anything below high chance because he is a much better grappler than Alex. I know Alex is a black belt with Glover Teixeira, but the reality is Almeida is a true black belt in jiu-jitsu. He's elite there. He's very high level there. He'd give Alex a lot of trouble there. But does he have the aura? Does he have the, like, could you really imagine Jailton Almeida under the pressure of a 5-round main event, getting in there with Alex Pereira's walkout, the bow and the arrow? Could you imagine all that stuff leading up to a fight with Jailton Almeida and Alex Pereira? Could you really see Jailton Almeida actually pulling it off? Because he has the skills to do it, but would he do it? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Would he do it? Pereira's pretty good takedown defence too, and he's good at just staying alive on bottom position. And then on the feet, Pereira could really knock out Jailton Almeida quite easily. The calf kicks will be a problem for Almeida. If he messes with Alex from distance for too long, he's a bit too clunky from there. He'd have to take Alex down pretty quickly. Alex has got pretty good knees in the clinch. He's powerful. Is it a bad take to put Jailton Almeida in high chance? Like, is Jailton Almeida that guy? Is what I'm trying to ask you all. Is he that guy? I'm going to keep him in high chance for now. I might change my mind later on. Jan Blachowicz, he's 41, 42. He can compete with Alex, probably even more so than Carlos Olberg even still. Jan Blachowicz, one of the most underrated fighters ever to ever exist, literally ever, of all time. Prime Jan would beat Alex. Pretty much after Prime Jan arguably did beat Alex. It was a terrible fight. Both of them gassed out at elevation though. But Jan Jan is massively slowed down now. Massively slowed down. Even still, he was able to arguably beat Carlos Olberg. In fact, I did think he clearly beat Carlos Olberg. But what Jan does against guys like Pereira or Olberg, these guys that are younger than he is, the judges aren't looking to give you a decision, Jan. But what Jan will do is he'll make it close enough to where he did just enough to win, but the judges will be like, we're not giving this 41-year-old a decision over Carlos fucking Olberg. Come on, we need the sport to move forward. That's essentially what happens with Jan Blachowicz. Just what happened in the Pereira fight. Now, I think Pereira probably could have beat Jan too. It really could have gone either way. The Olberg fight for me with Jan was a robbery. I do believe Jan clearly won that fight. Close, but Jan won clearly. Like, clear as day. Jan is still very good. Great checks. He has really good checks. Alex is going to struggle with that, and he did struggle with that in their fight. Jan will try and take down Alex because he's clever enough to do so. But Jan is so slow now. He was never that fast, but he's so slow now. Like against Carlos Olberg, you could see Jan was still really skilled and the technical awareness is there, but the actual speed and reaction timing isn't a little bit. Apart from his leg kicking defence and his guard still being really good, Alex probably would piece Jan up a bit in a rematch at this point. But Jan can for sure compete. He can check some of Pereira's kicks, land some of his own. He might land a deadly left hook off the end of an exchange. He might get a takedown on Alex. He's just a bit too old now. He's slowing down a bit. Still got a great chin though. He's still a very good fighter, Jan Blachowicz. But, you know, his best days are kind of behind him a little bit. A young Jan Blachowicz or a younger Jan Blachowicz, 36, 37-year-old Jan, probably would beat Alex, to be honest with you. Khalil, again, he did compete. And actually, he did drop Alex. He did give Alex a lot of trouble. He did compete with Alex. He doesn't have a high chance. Look, here's what lets Khalil down. If Khalil had great 5-round cardio and really good fight IQ to just mix it up with Alex in case he got hurt, he could be there. He might be there. Very fast when he's fresh. Once again, that'll give Alex trouble. Southpaw against orthodox. Khalil's got really good checks. He's got a really good guard. He's almost like a slightly less intelligent but faster Jan Blachowicz. Very powerful. Alex has got to respect that. It's not pray for that man. We've seen it. Khalil can give Alex trouble. But he ain't beating Alex. He's just not. Like, you can't fade against Alex in any way, shape or form. If you fade against Alex and you don't have a Jan Blachowicz level chin, you are fucked. Like, that there's no other way of looking at it other than that. You are screwed. Like, you just are. There's no other way around it. If Alex senses you are fading, he puts it on you. Even better than someone like Jiri Prochazka. Jiri Prochazka, everybody always credits, he is a marauder. And he could just get down and dirty and push when you're tired and just finish you that way. Yuri's really good at sensing when you're fading. But just look at the flow state Alex entered into once he knew Khalil was starting to fade. Once he didn't have to respect his power as much. Alex is a better counter-puncher. Really good knees up to the middle. He'd probably target the body much earlier in this fight than he did in the first Khalil fight, just to drain the gas tank a little bit earlier. Yeah, Alex would do a number on Khalil. But Khalil could for sure, again, land some round kicks to the body, compete with Alex, beat into the punch a little bit, catch Alex leaning back with a straight left hand, might even wobble Alex, but he's not winning. Magomed Ankalaev. Alex just smoked this man. Now, usually he'd be there because it's pretty much a 50-50 fight before the Alex Pereira 2 fight. The first fight was really close. Ankalaev's feints were really good in that fight. Ankalaev putting the pressure on Alex. But I don't like to call fights flukes. I don't like to do that. I don't like to do it. I think Ankalaev's really good. But Alex said in the rematch, you're going to see the best version of me. I had norovirus in the first fight. I had a broken left hand. That's why I didn't use his left hand as much. Alex, you can clearly see, was much worse and still arguably beat Ankalaev in the first fight than Ankalaev was then in the second fight. In the second fight, he just breezed through Ankalaev like he had nothing for him. Now, because Ankalaev has beat Alex before, I'd put him in high chance. And I think if they were to fight in a trilogy fight, Ankalaev might come, try and get an early takedown right away if Alex tries to bring the same kind of pressure, maybe meet him with more aggression himself. I just don't think Ankalaev expected that from Alex at all. I think, if anything, the first fight probably lured Ankalaev into a false sense of security. That's what I got from that. Ankalaev looked shocked Pereira was being so aggressive with him. It was completely different to the first fight. But I hate calling fights flukes. But But, like, the first fight was close. But even though it's kind of excuses, well, I lost because of this reason, it then becomes valid if Alex is so much better in the second fight. Like, the second fight was like, Ank had nothing for him. And then once he hurt Ank's fight IQ to not even try to play a guard, Gambit, just get out of that position, it kind of showed. He panic shot when Alex put the pressure on him and Alex was able to stuff it once he had him hurt and put it on him. He would go shin to shin with Ank, which is something that Jan Blachowicz did. And clearly Alex took that into the second Ankalaev fight and was like, look, I'm so much more conditioned than you that I'm just going to go shin to shin with you. I just am. Now, Alex had a foot brace on after this fight, which showed that maybe sustained maybe a broken foot or a broken toe, whatever it was. But Alex can go shin to shin with Ankalaev, which is going to give Ankalaev a lot of trouble. Look, the first, like, inside low kick he landed with his back leg made Ankalaev switch stances. You've got to deal with that for 5 rounds. I don't know, man. I'm going to put Ankalaev in can compete because, yes, he's beat Alex before, and I hate calling fights flukes. But at the end of the day, that first fight was, I just think it just wasn't the best Alex. And I think it showed in the second fight. And man, boy, did Ankalaev have nothing for Alex in that fight. Until I see Ankalaev improve, maybe improve his wrestling, maybe improve his aggression, I ain't saying Ankalaev beats Pereira nowhere, bro. Not after seeing that. I just think it's insane. He's not going to go in prayer for that, man, because he's beat Alex before. Do I give him right now as much of a chance as Jailton Almeida? No. No, it's in two different weight classes, but Almeida is an elite level grappler. He has a finishing threat there. He's fast, he's athletic. Like, he could definitely get a hold of Alex and submit him. But, man, Ankalaev, that was a bad look. That was a bad look. Really, really bad look. Curtis Blaydes can compete. Pray for that man nearly, can compete. Now, the idea of Curtis Blaydes is beats Alex. Won't get carried away and say destroys. The idea of Curtis Blaydes, I always say, is so much better than the reality of Curtis Blaydes. The reality of Curtis Blaydes is can compete. Because Curtis Blaydes will do some dumb shit. He'll go in there, he'll try like a spinning wheel kick on Alex. He'll try like a spinning back kick. For the first time in his career, we'll see a 2-touch spinning side kick into a hammer fist. I don't know. He'll try a rolling thunder on Alex. He'll do something dumb. He won't. The idea of Curtis Blaydes is he goes in, low stance. Soon as Alex tries to shoot a leg kick, he comes in with a double leg, takes Alex down, lands hellacious ground and pound and beats him. That's not what would happen. What would happen is he'd come in, low stance, take a few leg kicks, try some of his own, jab for a little bit with Alex, get caught by a left hook and get knocked the fuck out. Now, because Curtis Blaydes is a very good wrestler and he has good ground and pound, and he is a submission threat, he's not in prayer for that man. Because I'm aware that's a factor. But he's such a low fight IQ sort of fighter. And I do like Curtis Blaydes, but whenever he loses, like the Tom Aspinall fight, drive Tom to the fence, make Tom work, gas him out. You've not known for having a good chin, Curtis. And then Tom landed on him once and knocked him out because Curtis Blaydes was throwing too many telegraph 1-2s. Like, he plays every single time to his opponent's biggest strength. I don't know why he does it. With Sergei Pavlovich, he's ducking. Sergei Pavlovich's best punch is his right uppercut. So what does Curtis Blaydes start doing? He starts ducking down. Why? He did it with Derek Lewis as well. Derek Lewis's best punch is a right uppercut. Again, he plays to his opponent's biggest strength each time. It's like the opposite of a good game plan. I don't know if it's him or his coaches, but he'd do some dumb shit against Alex and get knocked out. This is the reality. The idea is Curtis Blaydes is intelligent, and Curtis Blaydes uses his wrestling, he uses a well-rounded approach, he gets Alex on the back foot. The reality is he circles round on the back foot, he trades punches with Alex, he tries a few leg kicks, he doesn't shoot a takedown, and Alex flatline KOs him. That's the reality. Alexander Volkov, pretty good chance. I mean, I think Alexander Volkov hit a new level against Ciryl Gane. I keep saying that in all these videos I do. So if I sound like a broken record, deal with it, all right? I didn't ask you to subscribe. Well, I kind of did. And don't unsubscribe now, I just said that either. I need you. Alexander Volkov versus Alex Pereira. Both have an 80-inch reach. Maybe Volkov's is like 81, I'm not sure. Alexander Volkov 6'7", Alex Pereira 6 foot. Says 6'4" on Google. Really, it's like 6'6". If you see him stood next to Tyson Fury and guys like that, he's probably like 6'6". So Volkov, you would think has like an inch in height on Pereira. That would give a new dimension and a bit of trouble for Alex. Alex's style is built around. If you look at his left hook is built for catching guys that are shorter than he is and not as long, trying to get into mid-range. If you look at how his left hook's thrown, it's thrown to catch you in mid-range. It's kind of hard for Alex Pereira to fight a guy like Volkov because he's going to be throwing him a few more overhands. He's going to be looking to use the jab, but Volkov might beat him to the jab. Volkov has really good teeps to sort of use to maybe throw Alex Pereira off using the calf kick. So if Pereira's looking to load up with the calf kick, although he sneaks it out a bit more, Volkov might catch him with a teep before he does that. Volkov's really good at probing with his lead leg too, but Pereira moves much better fundamentally than Volkov. What I will say in this fight is Volkov is for sure shooting in on Alex. Now, I don't think Volkov's a very good offensive wrestler, and again, he's so tall and long that usually you'll see with Volkov, he finds it difficult to get under guys because he's a bit slower, he's not as fast, he finds it difficult to time his entries. But I do believe in the clinch, in the sprawls. He might give Alex trouble. He'll use a very well-rounded game plan. I'd give him a pretty good chance of doing it. Volkov now as well, he looks a lot more filled out than he did previously in his career. If you go actually look at the first Gane fight to the second Gane fight, a fight he got robbed in clearly, Volkov looks more athletically imposing. I don't know whether he's a bit sauced up at the moment. He looks wider. He looks like a true athletic 6'7" heavyweight at the moment. Whereas before, he looked like a bit of a lanky 6'7" guy. And that physical strength side of things always let him down. At the moment, he looks like he's hitting harder. He's more filled out. He's kind of more composed in fights, Volkov. I really think Volkov's at his best right now. Now, I don't think he'd beat Alex, but I think he'd give Alex a real good show for his money. Again, well-rounded approach, probing with his lead leg. Him being a bit longer than Alex, or more or less the same height, kind of gives Alex a little bit of trouble because Alex's style is built around using his height and reach. So I think Volkov would give Alex a real good fight, but I'd still slightly lean to Alex Pereira, to be honest with you. Sergei Pavlovich, honestly, pray for that man. Pavlovich would get kind of annihilated by Alex Pereira. Like, once upon a time, Sergei Pavlovich had a bit of fear factor around him. He no longer has that. He can't take a punch the same way anymore. He's a little bit chinnier these days. Sergei Pavlovich is not beating Alex Pereira, and Pavlovich's boxing's pretty slow and mid. He's an okay-ish wrestler, Sambo world champion on the amateur scene. So he was a pretty good Sambo sort of wrestler. He hasn't really implemented that style as well nowadays, and he kind of has done it out of fear, right? Is it just me, or Pavlovich has sort of lost a bit of confidence, so now he's started wrestling. He's not doing it out of confidence because that's what his style's built off. He's doing it out of, I can't really get into those exchanges anymore. I can't really do that anymore. So Pereira would kill Sergei Pavlovich, in my opinion. But Pavlovich hits hard. That's something he's got to watch. Pereira's got to watch out for. Jiri, pray for that man. We've seen it twice. Look, Jiri did compete in the first fight, got shambazzled. I don't know what to call it. Lambasted in the second. It was, Pereira had him down to a T. Now, Jiri against Ank, Jiri against Olberg, Jiri did against Khalil, Jiri against, even upper weight class against Blaydes, maybe Almeida, maybe anybody else on this tier list, even the heavyweights. Jiri is so durable and so tough, and he has such good timing and output, and he's so good at sensing when you're fading. That's why he beats all these guys, because they can't quite put him away. Like, you can hit as hard as Khalil or Olberg and probably not put Jiri away. You might rock him, you might drop him, you're not going to stop him. But the difference between those guys and Alex is Alex has ungodly amounts of timing and ungodly amounts of power. And that it's just too much for Jiri. And look, Jiri isn't that different. Jiri might be able to give a lot of different looks, but he wouldn't be that different in another fight with Alex. Maybe he tries to take it down. Maybe. But Alex would fuck Jiri up again. Yeah, Jiri and Alex is a classic example of styles making fights. It's kind of like Dan Hooker against Michael Chandler. Like, Michael Chandler just has too much power for a guy like Dan Hooker who's too easily hit. That's why he got knocked out in one punch. Jiri just can't tank. To be fair, he can tank a few shots off Alex. It's not like he got slept in one punch. But in the second fight, Alex clearly had Jiri down to a T. And he's just too powerful. Too powerful for Jiri to handle. Ciryl Gane. And I do love Jiri, by the way. I don't want to do that. Look, we love the power of autism. We love it, but not quite going to happen. So that's where we kind of are so far, guys, by the way. Sorry about the advert at the bottom of the screen. Gane. Gane has a pretty good chance. Now, I know this is going to piss a lot of you off because I know in a lot of people's eyes, Alex would be a much superior striker to Gane. I don't know if he is. I do think he's better than Gane. And I do think Gane, obviously Gane doesn't hit hard, you don't hit very hard. He needs to accumulate combinations on you. It's kind of risky doing that against Alex. He keeps his chin in the air. He can get caught exiting out of exchanges. And I know a lot of people, to go against Gane, they'll say, well, Gane got hurt by Tai Tuivasa. But he got hurt by Tai Tuivasa because he was beating the shit out of Tai Tuivasa so badly that he just got careless. That he just lost respect for Tai Tuivasa, and he needed a reminder that this is still a dangerous guy. Gane's got really good round kicks to the body. He's good in either stance, which will give Pereira trouble, establishing his timing. What Gane needs to do against Alex, though, is take the front foot a little bit off Alex. Not all the way. He doesn't need to be somebody that he's not, but he'd need the front foot against Alex. I just think it'd benefit Alex more, Gane circling around him, giving him a lot of trouble. Different looks, different stance switches, different combinations, side kicks to the body, which again, if Alex is looking to kind of sit in place and use the calf kick, Gane will come in light on his feet with a side kick to the body from either southpaw or orthodox, which will throw Alex off. But I would expect Gane to predominantly fight Alex in southpaw, so he can hand trap him, stay light on his feet, side kick to the body, use the straight left hand. Gane is faster than Alex. Gane would give Alex Pereira a real hard time. Even though it's striker against striker, Gane could actually beat Alex Pereira. And a lot of people really underrate Gane's striking. If you're straight striking with Gane, you're in a lot of trouble. Even Tom Aspinall, who's below me, who's below at the bottom, I don't think could strike with Gane a whole fight. If he does that, I think Gane would beat him, to be honest with you. But Tom won't do that. He's going to take Gane down and beat the holy bejesus out of him. So don't worry about that. But I think Gane would give Alex a real good fight. Do you know what? I might edge Jailton Almeida into beats Alex. I think his grappling might be a bit too good. Alexander Volkov in high chance. I think Gane really could beat Alex. Could. I don't think he would. I'd still slightly lean Alex. Because in a straight striking matchup, again, Alex is still more refined in his timing, in the simple things. He's an elite level kickboxer. But to be fair, Gane is an elite level striker for MMA. But Gane's boxing in the mid-range would let him down in this fight. And if you're circling around Alex for a 5-round fight, trying to dance around him, he's going to get to you eventually. And if he got to Gane with a left hook, badly, once Gane starts to slow down a little bit, I think he'd knock him out. I think Gane would get slept in this fight, but it's not just can compete, because Gane would give Alex a real close fight up until he gets slept, in my opinion. Tom Aspinall. Tom would destroy Alex. He would. He would. He just would. But, again, if Tom stays on the feet long enough, it kind of beats Alex. Tom is much faster than Alex. He's naturally more dense. He's around 250-odd pounds walk-around weight. Now, I think that sheet of paper that he released that said he had 11% body fat was inaccurate. But still, he's mainly all muscle. He's a broad guy. He's a dense guy. He's a heavy guy. He's got ridiculously good ground and pound. He's been doing jiu-jitsu his whole life. He could easily submit Pereira on bottom. Where Jailton Almeida lacks is, he's a little bit more methodical with his grappling. If Tom took Alex down, he'd get going pretty quickly. So even though Alex can survive off his back, kind of maybe take a round off and then come back in the second round or something, Tom would do a lot of damage from top position. A lot of damage. And again, a lot of people, because Tom gets early finishes, people like to kind of pretend that Tom is something that he's not. He's not just a brute that destroys people. Yeah, against guys like Blaydes and stuff like that, he destroys them quickly because he could just land on them and knock them out. And that is another thing. Tom does hit really hard, so he could fake a double leg, come through with a straight right hand and maybe knock Alex Pereira out cold. But Tom isn't stupid. He said it himself once. If he fought Pereira, he'd run across the octagon and rugby tackle him. Now, Pereira would probably know that Tom would shoot early, so he might open up with a flying knee or something. But Tom would take Alex down pretty quickly. He's a bit too athletic for Alex, a bit too strong, really good ground and pound. On the feet, once there's a takedown threat established, it becomes a lot more even. And I think he could catch Alex pretty easily with his fast combinations. But Tom does leave exchanges with his chin in the air. He could throw a 1-2, leave with his chin in the air. Pereira might catch him with a left hook. He might. So he could knock Tom out. If you want to put Tom in beats Alex, I'm fine with that. But I think Tom's just too athletic, too big. I think he'd take Alex down pretty quickly and finish him in the first round. So, guys, that is that. And I know you're all going to call me a Tom Aspinall glazer. I am. I always admit to it. But it's not a close fight, in my opinion. That's where we are, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for watching. Adios. Goodbye.